Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you see by the title of today's video, we got the top 5 3v3 lineups in NBA 2K20. I did the 2v2 video yesterday if you want to check that out as well. But anyway, we'll get straight along with this. If you enjoy, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And if you have any disagreements or agreements, any feedback, just let me know, put it in the comments. Say what you think belongs to be the #1 lineup, maybe like your top 3 lineups for 3v3. But anyway, moving along, we'll get straight into this. Now, I do want to explain, as you're going to see by this very first lineup, I have player comparisons. Now, this does not mean that the height that these guys are is what I think it should be. It's just they're like kind of play archetype that I'll say. So anyway, obviously I don't recommend to have Lonzo at the 3, all right? In the first place, I don't recommend to have Lonzo on the court, but I couldn't think of a better play defender. If you have any better ideas for the images that I use for these players too, let me know. Let me know what you think a taller play defender could be in the NBA. But anyway, to explain, just try not to get sidetracked by these images too much. I know it's not the most accurate, but it's just what I decided to go with. So anyway, number 5, we have the sharp slash. So the BP build, for those who know what that is, it's just the 6'4" to maybe like 6'3" slash sharp. So we have that at the point. Then we have a play defender, like a smaller one, as your backcourt lockdown, and then low-key like a 6'7" or 6'8" play defender as the 3. Now, the thing that I love about this lineup, these two can switch everything on defense. If you get put into situations where the other team's running pick and roll or pick and pop, you got to switch. You don't want a slow big man on the backside, like you don't want some 7'3" guy to accidentally have to switch on to something like this, where now he's just going to try to ISO for 3. Simple as that, or get a very easy 2. Like I said, the versatility on defense from these two defensive players is big time. This guy will carry the load on offense. You can still set picks with this and get easy pick and rolls. The pick and pop option is what makes this tough. Now, this is where this lineup relies on a bit more of ISO from this player right here, to where if they're going to give up easy 2s, you take the 2s because you have good finishing. And then if they give up the chance of getting a 3-pointer because they don't want to get drove on all game, then you have the chance to pull off the 3s with the slash sharp right here. So anyway, number 5 lineup. Number 4, we have, listen, I promise you all these lineups are not as like abstract and crazy as this. There's a reason this lineup's at number 4. But what I will say is, this thing is crazy, all right? Now, the problem behind this lineup is it's very hard to generate easy 3-pointers. But the thing about it, too, is you have great defense, the exact same thing I was talking about, where you have the versatility of all 3 of them. And the thing you have going for you is you can go at any like weak defender. So it's the same thing I was talking about in the 2v2 video. I put this lineup very high on my 2v2 list. Now, the thing about it is, in 2s, obviously you can just take any 2-point shots, and that's a good shot. In 3v3, sometimes an easy 2 isn't even necessarily the best shot because you're going to have to fiend for the 3-pointers. It's very easy to take 3-pointers away from this lineup. But like I said, the versatility you have on defense and the easiness of just picking your matchups. And everybody can get a Hall of Fame floor general and defensive leader boost. You're going to always be carrying those. Everybody's shooting off dimer. It's very easy to shoot with these builds in the corner and catch and shoot. And whichever one's not ISOing just goes to the corner. Simple as that. It's very easy to ISO with this lineup right here because you can constantly just take it at the weakest defender. If you're fiending for a 3-pointer, you give it to the guy that has a big man on him. If you're fiending for just an easy 2-point shot, you give it to the guy that has the point guard on him. Simple as that. It's a very interesting lineup, and I wish more people would run it, but you don't commonly see that very often. Now, number 3, we have the play sharp, 2-way sharp, and finisher. Now, the reason I suggest 2-way sharp instead of like say a pure lock or a play defender at this lockdown spot, if you have an inside big or a finisher or say a pure lock, pure rim, whatever it may be, it's going to be very tough for him to get consistent good looks if you have a weak shooter in that corner. If you can shoot with the play defender, easy money. It's usually a pretty good look, but like I said, if your big man can't pick and pop or doesn't look to pick and pop, it's probably a better idea if you have a better shooter in that corner, and I think the 2-way sharp would fit this very well. The play sharp and finisher combo with the pick and roll, it's going to be very simple. You just have to out defend the other team. When they finally decide that they want to start taking your 2-pointers away because you have a good lead, that's when the play sharp will eat off the pick and roll and screens. You're going to have a lot of front back, and then the finisher is just setting good picks, getting easy looks for this play sharp. So this is a pretty bread and butter lineup. I feel like there's not too much to it, and it's very easy to run. But like I said, there are a couple things that hold it back to where any lineups at number 2 and 1 are kind of just a more superior lineup in the stage look to it. Now, like I said, some of these lineups fit better in the park, some of them don't. This one would fit very well in the park. You have great spacing, you have good finishing ability from your big man. You have it's really just, it coexists with the park very well, and a good interior defender as well as he's very athletic too. Now, the thing about this is that lineups like these will create problems. Now, I want to explain why. You have the slash sharp and the rim sharp. This right here, the combo of the pick and pop along with driving ability, it's already tough for that play sharp to guard this. So this is where in this lineup, you're going to have the two-way sharp. Both these two-way sharps are going to match up with the other team's point guard. And now the finisher becomes sort of a tough thing to make work against this rim sharp. So I'm going to explain. You get the switches, right? In the pick and roll, you may see a lot more front back being played with this lineup. This is where in front back, you're going to get 3-point chances with this lineup. But when they play sides, you have to take your twos consistently. Now, with this lineup, if you play sides against it, you better have an athletic defender at the 3 spot guarding this quote-unquote rim sharp. Now, what a lot of people like to do against a lineup like this, they put their big man on the two-way sharp who's spotting up corner, and then they switch everything with their 2 most capable perimeter defenders so that no matter what, they can't have a big man switched onto this guy. Now, if your big man, quote-unquote, at the 3 is very mobile and a good perimeter defender, you don't have to do that. It's just when you have those big bigs, all right, and they're in this pick and roll or pick and pop, and they get switched onto a build like this, it's very tough to defend that. I've seen a couple be able to handle it, but bro, I mean, the ability to get the misdirections off and the, you guys know how it is, the behind the backs and the Kobe's and just the Iverson, Curry, like rhythm dribbles, stuff like that, it's tough to deal with, all right? So, long story short, you need a mobile big man to be able to deal with this lineup, or you need to have 2 capable perimeter defenders in your backcourt that can also deal with this guy in the ISO, and then you can stick the big man on the two-way sharp, because most of the time they don't really use this build as anything on offense other than a corner spot up. Now, what I will say about this lineup too, though, is having this two-way sharp allows for wrap ability. So you see on this corner, right, you could just work him back up to the wing, and then you could honestly run a screen in the middle, cross both your guards across each other, and see if they force the switch. If they don't switch it, you might have this guy like reeling wide open off a wrap, and he can just pull an open corner, like an open wing 3. Now, if they do switch, that means you get the weak defender. So my example is, you would have in this lineup, oh shoot, I shoved the number 1. You would have in this lineup, this guy would be guarding the two-way sharp, right? And he thinks he's safe in the corner. He doesn't have to guard anybody. But now when you get forced into that wrap, you may be able to force this point guard onto, and you can do that with anybody. You can do it as long as you have the two-way sharp instead of the play defender. You can always do that little wrap thing I'm talking about. But anyway, just a little insight for anybody that's looking to study up on how they can improve their game. I think if you have a two-way sharp in that corner, use his abilities. There should be something that he brings to the table rather than just a little bit more reliable corner shooter than a playmaking defender would, because the play defenders, they lack the ability to carry a lot of badges like that, where it can be corner specialist, catch and shoot, hot zone hunter, quick draw, and then it like adds up, and it's hard to have range extender. But range extender is a big reason why a lot of play defenders can't run that wrap. They just don't have the ability to pull at any given moment. So anyway, number 1 lineup, and this is a very bread and butter one. It's about as simple as the I'll draw an example. It's about as simple as this one, but you replace the two-way sharp with a playmaking defender, and you replace the finisher with a rim sharp. So the reason behind that is, when you have more shooting at this big man spot, it opens up a little bit more cutting and driving ability from these like lockdowns right in the corner. Now, I do think this is a good lineup right here too, but like I say, the two-way sharp is very premium to have if you have this inside big. You don't want a weak shooter and somebody that relies on cutting a lot at that lockdown spot. Now again, like I said, the reason I feel like this is number 1, you have the great offensive player, you have the great defensive player, and then you have the rim sharp. Now, I would highly suggest, and when I say rim sharp, I do not mean 7 foot. I mean, I think 6'10 or 6'9 is the great way to make this build. But again, listen to me when I say this. I don't really know what the purpose of having a big in stage 3v3 is. Now, the thing about it, like I said, some of this pertains to Park a lot better, where having a bigger rim sharp does make sense. But at the same time, I feel very comfortable with a 6'9 on the at the 3, no matter who I'm guarding. The interior defense is not hard to do as long as you can just jump and have good block rating, good interior defense, and have pogo stick on. I run the 3 with a pure lock half the time in the park anyway, or for that matter, I run my 6'9 playmaking slasher that has 30 interior defense and 30 block. So anyway, long story short, what I'm saying though, I don't think like your big man being big, I don't think that matters that much. And a lot of you guys that have been with my channel for a while know that I feel like this. And at the end of the day, this is the meta lineup. This is what a lot of people run. This is by far the best one. Now, if you want to sub this play defender for a pure lock, so be it. I feel like that's a good thing you can do as long as that pure lock can shoot well, because at the end of the day, you don't have to rely so much on the role of the big man. you know, and he's like a much more pick and pop ability. I will say though, if your pure lock cannot shoot very well, it's tough to make this work because they're just going to sag off on him. They're going to double this guy off the pick and then just have one guy camp in paint just in case. And it's going to come down to you got to ISO a pure lock and you can't go to the paint with this build, or you're just going to rely on a pure lock. You're going to ISO against a pure lock while you're running this, and you're going to rely on your pure lock to be able to hit a corner 3 and just win you the game. And honestly, the thing I hate about that pure lock and in this spot right here is if you do have that, honestly bro, can he hit seven threes in an entire game? Because you can definitely force people to put those up, and honestly I don't know if they can go 7 for 8, 7 for 9 from 3. That is big props if you have the skill to be able to shoot with a pure lock with 4 shooting badges, maybe even 3 I think, and 53 pointer, and go 7 for 8 for 3. That's just a tough thing to do. Now again, this play defender fits very well into this lineup. It has the good cutting ability, it has great physical attributes, it has about the best defense you can have unless you're a pure lock, and then it complements the shooting of these builds very well. Like I said, that they can cut as well. It's hard to just hide, you know, a garbage defensive point guard on him sometimes, because it's about as easy as just say, okay, cut, and then boom, he gets a nice little paint look. So anyway, that is my top 5 3v3 lineups. If y'all really want me to do the 5v5 lineups, feel free to just let me know. I'm probably going to put that off for a little bit and get back to the gameplays pretty soon here. But hey, quick little update on the channel. So I just bought an HD60S. So originally I had the HD60. I don't know. Okay, nerd talk pretty soon. All right. If you made it to the end of the video, if you made it to this point, put top 5 in the comments again if you made it to the end that you want to show your support. But anyway, we're gonna have a quick little nerd talk. All right. Now listen, I don't know any of this stuff until I do the research. So trust me, I don't know a lot of this stuff off the top of my head. But anyway, I had an Elgato HD60, and apparently that's not very good for streaming. I got the HD60S today. We're going to be working on the streams pretty soon. I just want to get a couple little test runs and make sure all my settings are right, make sure my internet holds up well. And then we also got a new face cam as well, or it's like a 4K webcam or something like that. So anyway, I got that as well. We're going to try to figure all this stuff out. I'm going to make sure that everything is like down pat and I don't got any problems. But anyway, like I said, streams are coming soon. I'm gonna post on YouTube pretty soon here that I'm gonna do a Q&A with Facecam as well for 50K. I appreciate y'all for letting me get to that 50K point as well pretty soon here. I'm super excited. This is like the biggest milestone of my channel so far. Obviously 100K will come as well for a milestone, but hey, like I said, 50K Q&A is coming up soon. I'm gonna post on YouTube and you can leave your questions on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to all the new content that's coming as well. And other than that, take it easy, man. Peace. Hey, like I said, if we could get this to like 1,000 likes, that'd be tight. I'd really appreciate that. And let me know if you want to see that 5v5 lineups. Just let me know. I'm not gonna do that unless people want to see it. I highly doubt there's a lot of people that want to see it, but let your words be spoken. All right, let your voice be heard. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you made it to the very end, put 3v3 in the comments instead of top 5. And other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.